This is Jefferson Close-Up. I'm Carol Celine. My guest today is Dr. Tim Showalter, radiation oncologist. So when you were a kid, like most kids, you were very interested in sports. And then when you were in 8th grade, you broke your hip playing football, and that steered you into something you probably never would have done otherwise.
Yes, for me that was a big change in my life. Previously I'd been focused entirely on school and sports, and I actually had to find a new direction at that point and discovered a love for acting. So I participated in forensics at the national level, which is a acting competition, and had the opportunity to travel nationally and to compete at a high level. And
did you win any prizes?
I did. My highest accolade was winning a national award, first place at the Pinecrest Invitational.
So how did you get from that into medicine?
Well, I was always interested in medicine. When I first became interested in medicine when I was 6 years old. My grandfather was visiting us at the time, as he often did, and he was wise in some aspects, but also had, in some other aspects, the maturity of a 6-year-old as well. So he was my best friend. I had the chance to go with him for his cataract surgery, and the eye doctor actually let me go into the operating room. And at that point, that was the first time that I'd seen medicine really affect a loved one's life and improve things. And from that point on, I was hooked.
That's a lovely story. What do you like about yourself?
Well, I think I'm a very hard worker. My parents emphasized education and working hard through childhood. I put myself through school and always focused on schoolwork to get to the point where I am now. And for that, I'm very proud.
And is there something about yourself you would change if you could?
I would really like to learn another language. I can only speak English. I took Latin all the way through high school. That left me with no practical language at this point. I'm currently working on a master's program, a master's in public health, and after that I really want to focus on learning Spanish.
Oh, you're a busy guy. You told me your favorite childhood memory was going fishing with your dad and your uncle, but that you also have a family tradition with your brother that's entirely different.
Well, since my brother and I now have busy careers and families of our own and live in different states, we've made quite an effort to stay in touch. One of our favorite things to do is to attend concerts by our favorite band, the Drive-By Truckers. So we've done that in Philadelphia and all over the East Coast.
So what would your idea be of a perfect day?
Well, my perfect day would start with waking up very early before the house wakes up, because that's the only moments of quiet that we can get with young children. So I'd like to have a cup of coffee, and then go for a run. One of my favorite things to do in Philadelphia is to run over the Ben Franklin Bridge. Then I'd like to come back and cook pancakes for my daughters and hope that they'll actually eat them. And then spend time going to parks and elsewhere in the city with my wife and 2 kids. And then hopefully have a rare opportunity to have some babysitting in the evening and take my wife out to a BYO restaurant.
You have a lot of different interests, with the Spanish and running and forensics. Do you have a motto that kind of ties all this together?
Well, one of the things that keeps me going is I had a teacher in medical school who always repeat constantly, just trying to do the right thing. And I think of that often. I think of that teacher, and it's a reminder to slow down, to take the steps to do the right thing. And if something requires extra actions or advocacy, it reminds me to do so.
So what would the right thing mean for you in terms of your patients?
Well, oftentimes it's pausing for a moment in the middle of a busy clinic day and taking the time to really explain things thoroughly. And sometimes that requires getting a little backed up or taking more than the scheduled time. But I feel like it's important to do that and spend time with patients.
And I guess particularly in radiation oncology, patients have choices of different kinds of treatments. And so you have a lot of things to help them understand so they can make the right choice.
That's right. I spend a lot of my time with prostate cancer patients, and they're a great example of patients who are encountered with a really complicated decision-making process. They'll often have 4 or more decisions that are appropriate for their stage. So I spend a lot of time going through with patients and their family members about the potential risks and benefits of each treatment approach.
Boy, I bet they're glad they came to see you. Thanks for coming in.